My very good people, this is a story about a friend of mine by the name Vincent. Vincent and I studied at the same university. So one time, Vincent had a very difficult choice to make in his life. He had the choice of choosing between his girlfriend and his mother. Unfortunately, Vincent chose his girlfriend. Very good people, this story dates back to the very eventful year of 2016. Vincent was a fourth-year student studying law at Moi University, and we were very, very close friends. Vincent had come from a very humble background, if humble is the disciplined word for poor. So Vincent came from a very humble family. His dad had passed on when he was at a very young age, and his mother was a farmer who sadly again was battling stage 1 of cancer. So Vincent's mom did everything she could to give Vincent, her only son, quality education and access to basic amenities that would see Vincent through to adulthood. Vincent did whatever he could do to, work hard and make a living for himself. So one day, in the fullness of time, he would go back home and, be there for his mother, now that his mother had done everything for him in terms of life and schooling. So it was quite the life for my very good friend Vincent. Once a while, when help came through for him, he had to divide these monies into catering for his basic needs, catering for his tuition fees, as well as having something little to send back home to his mother to tender for her illness, as well as her farming business. So you and I can only imagine the kind of life that Vincent had. But definitely life has, everybody has something life has planned for them in the fullness of time. So my very good friend Vincent kept on working hard. So fast forward, Vincent graduated with a bachelor's in law, and he hit the job market very hard. He was able to go to KSL, he was able to do very well, and soon he was admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. At this point, may I now also let you people know that Vincent had a long-time girlfriend by the name Sandra. And to be very honest with you people, Vincent loved Sandra for real. Those of us who are very close to him kept on telling him that was not love, that was pure obsession. But he really, really cherished Sandra. He held Sandra with so much regard, and he would do anything to make that lady Sandra happy. Some of us thought he was overstretching his love for her. Some of us thought he was just, being a young man or trying to exhibit love that he never received in childhood. But again, two people who are in love you do not want to, get into their way. You do not want to judge. So we left them to be. So fast forward, my good people, Vincent, being the hard worker that he has always been, he was able to, hit the tarmac well in terms of job searching. Soon after he was admitted, he began getting clients. First, he was recruited into the law firms within Nairobi town. He did his pupillage very well. He was able to, rise through the ranks to become one of the most respected lawyers. Life began to change gradually. I mean, he could afford a few suits. He would afford, 3 decent meals a day. He would afford to go out with friends once or twice a month. because, you know, he started having, getting top dollar clients, and, you know, gradually, slowly but surely, life was beginning to show for itself for our very good gentleman, Vincent. One time, I remember very well, my good people, Vincent was approached by one of the telecommunications companies within Nairobi to represent them on a civil matter that they had in court. And you know, when a corporate company, especially those within the telecommunications space, approach you to represent them in court, you can imagine the amounts of legal fees that we are talking about. Vincent was going to carry home some very good and handsome amount of money from this particular deal. So people were happy for him. His girlfriend, Sandra, was happy for him, and things were okay for our good gentleman. It's at this point that something happened. Vincent decided to use a better part of the money that he was going to be given by this corporate as a legal fee to build his sick mother a big home back in the village. I mean, everyone, especially the men, everybody who has really struggled when they were growing up, and they've struggled, you know, raising money for their education, and their moms have been in their journey relentlessly. When you first win your big gig, when you first get your top dollar gig, you just want to rush home and give your mom a befitting gift. It can either be a car, it can either be a house, you can build a bungalow for her, you can buy land for her. So at this point in time, our very good man, Vincent, decided to, you know, why not buy a piece of land, or then, you know, build a mansion for her mom. His mom, I beg your pardon, because then she was now at stage 4 of cancer. The chemotherapies were going on, and you know, she needed a very befitting home. Well. Sandra, who at this point is Vincent's fiancée, heard that Vincent was planning to go back home and build the mom a house. And she was like, no. If you are going to do that, because now evidently, Vincent, you have the money, you are going to build for me a house. Buy me land and build me a house at the same time that your mom's house is coming up. I would also want mine to be coming up as well. Man, you have the money, so why not overstretch and then build 2 houses at the same time? If you do not do that, my dear Vincent, I am going to leave you for a better man, because men were always in her DM. She was good looking. Sandra was good looking. So men were always on her case. But you remember at the beginning of this story, I told you, my good people, that Vincent was crazy over this girl. Vincent loved this girl. Vincent was willing to do anything for Sandra, so long as she was happy. Now the dilemma was here. Sandra heard that Vincent was planning to build that house for his mother, and she said, no, that's okay. I mean, there's no problem building your parent a house. I mean, it's only noble that you do so. But in that endeavor, my request to you, Vincent, is that start the foundation of my house as well. Vincent was okay with that entire idea. He was like, okay, there's no problem. Let me just rush to my bank and ask for a top-up loan, so that when I start building the 2 homes, I will not, you know, struggle financially. I would not, you know, be at a point where one of the homes will stall. So Vincent rushes back to his bank and requests for a top-up loan so that he can build the 2 houses at the same time. The bank people are like, no. Your credit scores are not as flexible to give you another amount of money. So at this particular point, my good friend Vincent became confused, because There were two things. If he proceeded to get the mom land and build her a house without really considering the request of Sandra, the fiancée, then he stood a chance of losing her. Remember, he loved her so much. She was the, the pinnacle of his life and all that. So he didn't want to put himself in such a situation. So the banks that Vincent had visited for to request for these particular top-up loans declined the request, and you can imagine this particular situation that our very good friend Vincent was in, and therefore it needed him to make a decision regarding this issue. Remember, the mom was very, very sick. She has stage 4 cancer. The chemotherapies are ongoing. She has to go to the hospital weekly, and she needed a very decent home to enjoy her sunset days. It was, logical that the son, upon being able to afford a home for her, to only build. On this flip side, the fiancée Sandra, who by all means he had already made plans to marry, said she needed her house herself. She was tired of rentals. She was, tired of, the entire thing about tenants and landlords at the end of the month, it. And she said, hey, get me my own house as well, so that, your mom back in the village and myself as your fiancé, we can live well. And therefore, this is the point where our very good friend Vincent made a decision that to date he regrets. Vincent said that he was going to move with speed and build the girlfriend a house, the fiancée Sandra a house, within the shortest time. And then he would then rush back home and lay a foundation for his mom's house that would be up and finished within a few months. The mom would not know, because this is a lady that he had planned to marry. This is a lady that, his heart, this is the lady that was after his own life. This is the lady that, he wanted to spend the rest of his life with and perhaps raise a beautiful family. And therefore, he made the decision to, just silently, without the information reaching the relatives, friends, or even his mother, build their girlfriend a house. Then afterwards, he would go back to the bank after his credit scores had improved. Then he would be able to, build the mama house. According to Vincent, at that particular point, that was the wisest decision that he could reach. And therefore, my good people, the house began. They started building the house, and everything was, the fiancé, I beg your pardon, was very happy. Sandra was over the moon. He professed his love for Vincent, and he said that Vincent was indeed the man of her dreams, for the simplest reason that she had been prioritized over Vincent's mom, who was very sick at the village. My good people, for one reason or the other, Vincent's mom got wind that there was a house that Vincent was building for his fiancée Sandra. I also do not know how the old lady got that news. Do not ask me. I don't know. But she got wind. Actually, she got wind. She learned of those developments when the house was almost being completed. Remember, Vincent had promised her a home, a retirement home, or a home that she would enjoy her sunset days in. But the mere fact that Vincent was actually building a bungalow for his fiancée, his girlfriend, who he had not even paid a dowry for, Vincent's mom's heart got broken. She felt so bad, my good people. And therefore, the old lady, I'm told that when the lady got wind, when this information reached Mama Vincent, she did not believe it. And therefore, she silently began making inquiries as to the exact location of this particular place where Vincent was building for his fiancée her house in Nairobi. It's also important for you, my good people, to know that Vincent's mom was living in a thatched house, a very small compound that his father had left for her very many years ago when he passed on. So this mama was so heartbroken. She felt so bad, but she did not want to curse the son or curse this lady that had taken her son away from her. She wanted to travel to Nairobi secretly and see this particular establishment that Vincent was building. The lady put a few resources together. She made a few inquiries here and there, and off she went. She began her journey to Nairobi, step by step, pole pole, and in the endeavor to see with her own eyes that indeed it was not a lie, indeed it was not rumors. Vincent was building the girlfriend a home, yet this girl was not there when the mother struggled with her farm and her medical condition to raise money for Vincent's university studies. It was a very painful state of affairs, my good people. But fast forward, Mama Vincent traveled all the way from the village to Nairobi asking, because Vincent had become a celebrity city lawyer. Most people knew him. So with the leads that the sketchy data she had gotten from Vincent's friend regarding to where the home was being built, she kept on following those leads, pole pole, until she got to, Kiambu, because that house, Sandra's native home was from Kiambu County. So that is where the home was being built. I had also told you at some point, my good people, that when Mama Vincent learned about this particular house, it was almost completion. It was almost done. They were doing the final finishing, the final touches on the house so that Sandra, Vincent's fiancée, would, move in. So my good people, traditionally when you've built a house and the house is ready for occupancy, you are required to actually call members of the church to pray for the house, the newly built house. Also, to pray for the homeowners, and just to place place the house in the hands of God for blessings and to avoid any tragedy going forward, especially when the homeowners are ready to, move in. So the Sandra's new house was, of course, not excluded from that particular societal norm. They were ready, the final touches had been done, and now they were ready to, pray for the house, call members of the local church to pray for the house. Remember, Vincent's old and sick mom had already, gotten to Nairobi, and she was now making her way into the Kiambu sub-county, the deep villages where the mega mansion, the property had been built. My good people, it was quite an eventful afternoon, because remember, Vincent had not taken initiative to take Sandra home for formal introductions to his old mother. So basically, Vincent's mother and Vincent's fiancée Sandra had never met, meaning they did not know each other. And therefore, Vincent's mom was able to, locate the property. I remember she walked into that compound, and Sandra and a few people were outside the big mansion. It was a celebratory mood. They were finishing, waiting to call the church members to come and pray for the house. So she went straight to Sandra and introduced herself as a Jehovah's Witness from a local church, who had come to congratulate them and also to, pray for the house, because that was a norm within the Kiambu County. So Vincent's fiancée, Sandra, was very excited because, members of the church had already started streaming in. What she did not know actually was that this one was Vincent's own mother, who she had shortchanged, convinced Vincent to build this house first and go and build for this old mama. So she welcomed this lady who had introduced herself as a Jehovah's Witness and, told one of her very young cousins, Sandra's cousins, that, hey, help this church member to, see the house, take her to the sitting room so that she can have a seat. We prepare something for her so that she can pray for the house. At around the same time, Vincent drove into the compound. So what actually, Vincent had gone to the bank for a second time, apply for the loan, right? To, after the house had been prayed for, he would travel back home to his mother and begin laying the foundation of the second home, which now belongs to the mother. What Vincent did not know actually, that the mother was actually here masquerading as a member of Jehovah's Witness who had come. Back into the house, Vincent's mom was shocked and sad. The old, tired woman felt so defeated with life. She wondered who had bewitched her son, that after very many years of struggle and pain and perseverance all through school, given her medical condition, the first money that Vincent ever laid his hands on, he built a house for a woman who he had just met and who he had not even had the honors and the decency of introducing his mother to. Mama Vincent felt so bad. At age 86, tired, frustrated, pained. It was the worst moment of her entire existence. At the wall, she could clearly see Vincent's portrait, indicating that this was his home. She felt so bad. Then something happened at this particular moment, my good people. Mama Vincent asked one of Sandra's youngest cousins, the one who had accompanied her to the main living room, that, hey, help me look and pray for the rooms within the mansion. The mansion had 7 rooms and 2 floors. So it was 7-bedroomed mega mansion. So Mama Vincent asked the young kid to take her every room so that she could see. The girl had no problem. She was like, okay, these are Jehovah's Witness, so no issue at all, no pressure at all. So slowly Mama Vincent walked into every room, holding her heart and shaking her head in disbelief and in pain. My good people, they went up to the 7th room. That was at the far end of the mega mansion. And it is at this point that she knelt down and looked at the heavens and prayed. Then at this point, now Vincent and the wife, the fiancée Sandra, were outside. Sandra was, very happy to see the husband, and she excitedly told him that one of the Jehovah's Witnesses was already around. The old mama was already in the sitting room, ready to, begin the prayers and the mini celebrations of opening the home. So Vincent was also, happy because, this project is, done. It is looking all good. Now he needs to, rush to the village the following day and lay foundation for his mom. It's at this moment, when they were having this very nice couples conversation, that Sandra's youngest cousin ran and said, hey, the Jehovah's Witness who had come to see the house and pray for it, is at the 7th bedroom, and she is playing with Sandra. Sandra had a skipping rope where she used to, do her cardio and, exercises she had a skipping. So she told them, hey, the grandmother, the old Jehovah's Witness, is at the 7th bedroom, far end, and she's playing with the rope for Sandra for exercising. So Vincent and the fiancée Sandra rush to the 7th bedroom to see what this Jehovah's Witness lady was up to. My good people, sorry, beg your pardon. When Vincent walked into that room, he came face to face with the body of his mother hanging from the ceiling board. Vincent's mother had committed suicide and hanged herself on the 7th bedroom of that mega mansion.